Hola mi gente, it's Mari and you're watching Let's Be Reader. Today I'm going to be talking about the 5 books I'm currently reading and my thoughts so far. So let me first start by mentioning what I'm currently reading. These are the books I feel like I'm into it enough that I can talk about it and call them current reads, because I am planning on finishing them, which is why there's some books you might have heard me talk about on Instagram that I'm currently reading that I'm not talking about here, because I just don't think I'll finish them, or there's just not much I can talk about right now because I'm not that into it and stuff, or I don't have like that much of a solid opinion. So the first one I'm currently reading is this one. Look at this beautiful cover. I know it's a little dark in here. Let me see if I can turn on the lights. Look at this beautiful cover. I feel like because of the filter I have on, which I forgot to turn it on, but I kind of like the look. I like the vibe it gives, even though it makes me look really pale. You can't really tell, but this has some of the most beautiful cover. It's called Flux by Orion Carlotto, which apparently is an influencer. I had no idea who they were before when I picked up this book. I just thought the cover was beautiful, and I read a couple of the poems, and I was like, this is what I'm in the mood for. So I picked it up. I'm only 17 pages into it, but I have read some really good poems. As you can see, I already started tabbing it, and we haven't even gotten to the ones that I had read at the bookstore I have enjoyed. So far, I have like 5 tabs, which I feel is a fair amount, considering that even though I'm in page 17, there's no actual like poem till like page. Oh no, actually, it actually starts at page 1, but still really enjoying this. I don't know who Orion Carlotto is. I just know that I'm really enjoying this poetry collection. I feel I love this so much. I kind of want to like color it, but I can't color it. I swear to God, I feel like maybe scanning it so I can color it, because it's just such a beautiful picture. Anyway, so this is a poetry collection, and because I'm so little into it, I don't have much to say, but that I'm really enjoying, because they have some like deep poems, some longer, some shorter, but they're really good, but they're really simple, but they're really deep. And ones read are pretty deep. I read some pretty deep one, and that's kind of what I look for in a poetry collection. I don't like poetry collections that are like overly simple, unless it's what I'm looking for, and I don't like poetry collections that are like super short, modern, like they're almost like quotes. And there are a lot that I read that just didn't hit the spot, but this one completely hits the spot. Actually, I'm also currently reading another poetry collection, but I can't remember the name of the author of the poetry collection, because I haven't been reading much since I got this one, and because I'm not that impressed by it. But this one, really enjoying, and might have to look up who Orion Carlotto is after I finish reading it. And then this one is my main read. It's the one I have been dedicating most of my time on. And that being said, I don't have a lot of time, and I don't read a lot during the day. Ever since I started working, I'm struggling with that. But this is Black Klansman. I'm not sure if it's Black Klansman or Black K Klansman. It's a memoir by Ron Stallworth about he was the first Black police officer in Colorado. He was also the first Black detective, and especially like what's it called, like undercover detective, and he makes an undercover investigation into the Ku Klux Klan. Therefore, the image of that, which I find like you can see the cover, like it has like him. He has the like, oh my god, what's that thing called? Like Pinita. It's a Klansman, but you can tell he's a black man. He has like his badge. I think the cover is like amazing. The whole like contrast of things, like polar opposite stuff. But yeah, he infiltrates the Ku Klux Klan. There's even a movie about it. I am looking forward to the movie. I'm not sure how realistic the movie is, but I'm looking forward, and I think this is fascinating. It has pictures. I'm almost done with it. I'm pretty sure I can finish it tonight. So by the time this go out, I'll probably be done with it. But right now, as of right now, it's my current read, and I'm absolutely enjoying this. I'm absolutely fascinated, and I would love more books by this author, even though it's just a memoir. But like he was an investigator, like the cover like officer, maybe in like the 70s. There's gotta be something he can talk about, some other book he can publish, maybe not as exciting as like a black man like doing an undercover investigation in the Ku Klux Klan, but his writing is addictive. Like I was like, I remember when I first started this book, I normally like it have like 5 or 10 minutes left before I have to clock in. I normally don't pick up a book because I don't see it like it's necessary, because I tend to clock in 5 minutes before. So like, what's the point? But I remember when I started reading this in the car on my way to work because my dad was driving. I sat down on my desk, which I normally don't do until it's time to actually start working. I sat down on my desk and I continued reading, and then it was time to clock in my 5 minutes before, and I clocked in and I did everything I had to do before like actually started working while reading the book, because like I still had time before I actually started working, because it was like I didn't work yet. It was not my time to work anyway, and I did that without like breaking apart from the book, because I was fascinated. And the moment like lunch break came, I was like, I'm gonna read this. And I'm just super fascinated. Sometimes I don't read for a couple of days because like it's my struggle right now. I'm currently struggling with books, which is why I have so many current reads that have been like they're like from January. But this one, every time I pick it up, I'm like, damn, why did I stop? And I had considered maybe like listening to the audiobook because I want to know what happens next. But I'm enjoying reading it so much that I feel like this is one of the books that is motivating me to read, and I don't want to listen to it on the audiobook because I'm going to finish it way too fast, and I just want to enjoy it. And it's just fascinating and super amusing, all the things, all the little comment he makes. And I like this idea of like this white people not knowing they're talking to a black man, and he basically making fun of them without them noticing. It has some amazing quotes. It has some information that kind of like I'm like shocked about, because the thing is I didn't really know much about the Ku Klux Klan because I live in Puerto Rico. We didn't have that I know of, and I didn't really know much. I heard the Ku Klux Klan due to a teacher who lived in the States when she was young, and she had an encounter with them. She was a black teacher, and I thought it was crazy. I thought that like I was like 11. I didn't even know that existed before then, and I thought it was like crazy. And I was like, oh my god, this can't be real. And then reading about it now, I'm like super fascinated how crazy it is that some people are so messed up that they think that white people are superior. But holy shit, this is just wow. This book is amazing. I totally recommend. It's gonna be a 5-star. Like I don't really have much pages left. I have like 40 pages left, I think. So like this is gonna be a 5-star. I just know it. And then other current book I'm currently reading is this one. I haven't actually read it in a couple weeks, and like 2 weeks or more. I should probably pick it up. Probably going to be my next read as soon as I finish this one. Because I've been so focused on this because I'm so fascinated by it that I've been ignoring this one. But it's another one I'm really enjoying. And then I have thought about picking up the audiobook, but then I go back to like I'm really enjoying it physically. So like why pick up the audiobook? But I'm really enjoying it physically, and it's like it's not that I listen to the audiobooks of books I don't enjoy, but because I'm struggling with reading, I really want to physically read the books I'm loving, because it makes me want to motivate to read. Versus if I'm currently reading a book that maybe it's interested in, and I'm more interested in the books I'm currently listening to, then I might not pick up physically books. You know what I mean? But this is about what's her name? Leonora Logroño. Her family has a bakery called Amor y Azúcar or something like that. And for Dia de los Muertos, the day before Dia de los Muertos, her mom like takes her sisters. They're like 5 siblings. They're all sisters, I believe, and they take them to like the bakery to help prepare for the Dia de los Muertos. But she's not allowed because she's the youngest, and she's like, oh, that's unfair. And she wants to know because she feels like there's something that they're hiding. She has her like the word magi thrown around, but in Spanish, and because her like she's not as well versed in Spanish as her siblings because she didn't have that relationship with her grandmother. She kind of left out the conversation. She wants to know what's going on until she discovered that she comes from a family of brujas, and that is all I know so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm 74 pages. It's super fluffy read, but like also like it has like some deeper meaning of feeling left out and stuff. I feel like we all felt that if you're like the younger one in the family like I am, you have felt that at some point. And just to talk about the magic and the food and the conversation, and like the relationship with the family, it has like really like some recipes, and it's such a wholesome middle grade novel, and I'm really really enjoying it. And so far I really recommend it, and I believe it's a series. I don't know how many books there are, but I'm looking forward to continuing them. So far I'm like loving everything that I'm reading. This one I actually was listening to the audiobook, and then I decided to start the audiobook and physically read it because I felt like I was going to enjoy it a lot more if I physically read it, because I was just not feeling like I was like giving it all the attention and like heart it deserves. And this is actually one of my 5-star prediction. If you know what I'm talking about, go back to one of my, I don't know when I'm going to be posting this one, it will be the next video post. Check out my 5-star prediction. This is one of them, and this is one of the reasons why I really want to give it a fair chance, because like if I think it's going to be a 5-star, I should give it a fair chance. This is about, whew, I forgot their names. It's been a couple of days since I stopped it and decided to physically read it. But they're a pair of siblings. They live in this town where whiteness is what they strive for. So basically, the folks in this town that strive to make them to lighten their skin is how they have in the Hispanic community, and I guess in some part of the Latinx community too, the whole fix the race, like, you have to marry someone who's lighter skin because you have to fix the race, you have to fix the race, you have to mejorar la raza. And it's kind of that thing, like they kind of like try to like marry off lighter skin people to fix the race and be lighter skin. And we got these girls who are so light skinned that they're white passing. I believe they also have like light color eyes. And what happens is that they kind of run away from this town, and one of them marries I believe she marries a white man, whereas like I think she marries a white man, or she goes to live as a white woman and she marries this really dark skinned man. And then with Maria here, I skipped the part where I mentioned and the other sister. So like one sister goes to live her life as a white woman, one sister goes to live her life as a black woman and marries a much darker skinned man, which is a whole thing that is talked about in the story and discussed, but I won't spoil. She has to go back to her town because of XY reason, and she kind of has to like deal with like her daughter like suffering racism from her own community, because since whiteness is what's strive for, but because her husband was so dark skinned, her daughter is darker skin, and she's like white passing, so like her daughter is darker skin, so she gets bullied a lot, so she has to deal with that. She also like reconnects with some like past friends, trying to avoid spoilers. It's her relationship with her mother, her trying to like reconnecting with her mother, with her constant comment about like lighter skin, and her constant comment about how she should have never married a black man even though they're black. It's crazy. And it's based in like, I believe this town actually existed, I'm not sure like the current reason it actually existed before, and these things were actually common there. What else? And she decides she wants to look for her sister because they parted ways, and she wants to look for her sister. And it's super interesting, and I thought I was a lot more into it because I was a couple hours into the audiobook, I believe. Actually I am a lot deeper than I thought. So it seems like I'm around 77 pages into it, and I think I'm going to reread a couple of the pages. I might just start it all over again and just skim read the first 77 pages and then continue physically reading. I just feel like I'm gonna love this, and I want to give it my full attention. And like I was trying to say in the video, but I didn't cut the part. I had to cut the part because I kept stammering and you couldn't understand what I was saying. I'm not in a rush because yes, I was trying to read most of the books by black authors in February because it's Black History Month, but February is not the only month to read books by black voices. So I'm not in a rush. But I will read it, and I do want to give it a fair chance, and I really want to love it, and I really want to love it because it's going to be a 5 stars. I feel like it's going to be a 5-star, therefore I want to give it a chance. So I'm currently reading it, but I have to start it all over again and reread it and continue it because I want to give it a fair chance, and I'm really enjoying what I'm reading, and I think it's fascinating. And now this one I was physically reading, and then I decided to listen to an audiobook too. And I'm between physically reading and listening to the audiobook, and I'm completely fascinated by it. And that is To Sleep in a Sea of Star by Christopher Paolini. Christopher Paolini wrote Arrogant, which I saw the movie, have not read the books, not really interested in reading the books, but this is fascinating, and so many people recommended me this book, I decided to pick it up. They failed to notify me that this book is like almost 900 pages, and the font is really, really tiny. So I wanna a lawyer because I want to sue them for making me buy this book not knowing how big it was, because it doesn't seem that big, but but the book is 878 pages, and the font is extremely tiny, and the pages are like Bible pages thin. Like, look at this. And they're like, oh god, it even scares me to break it. Also, like, let's just appreciate this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love sci-fi, but I feel like I don't read it a lot because big books scare me. Especially now that I'm like in like kind of like a, not necessarily a reading slump, but like a physically reading slump. But I'm 186 pages into it. I'm going to continue reading it physically as soon as I finish with Black Landsman. And I'm obsessed so far. This is about Kiara. No, Kiara is my friend. Kira. I have a friend named Kiara. Kira Narvaez. I know it was like a Spanish last name. What was it? Kira Narvaez. Narvaez. Oh, it has they added the tilde and everything. Kira Narvaez comes in contact with some alien artifacts. I'm trying to try not to spoil it. I'm thinking what I'm gonna say. And due to that, it seems like, let me see what the synopsis says. Oh, perfectly. Kira Narvaez dream of life on new worlds. Now she's awakened a nightmare. During a routine survey mission on an uncolonized planet, Kira finds an alien relic. At first, she's delighted, but elation turns to terror when the Asian dust around her begins to move. As war erupts among the stars, Kira is launched into a galaxy-spanning odyssey of discovery and transformation. It's freaking fascinating, like this whole thing, and like the part where the relic, I feel like there's a really big, strong, something called, oh my god, reference to Michael Crichton, which, you know, where the books are, they're up there. Michael Crichton, he's the author of Jurassic Park. He's the author of Next, which is one of my all-time favorite books, and Prey, which is what I'm gonna mention now. He has written tons of books. And he has there's tons of movies made of his books, and I'm obsessed with him as an author, even though I've only read 2 of his books. But one of them was Prey. The dust that she talks about is very similar, reminds me a lot of the dust in Prey, and when she's at that cave and she discovers this alien relic, she's talking to a doctor called Dr. Crichton, if I'm not mistaken. Michael Crichton was a doctor. Like, he went to Harvard and studied medicine, and he graduated. I don't think he actually ended up like working as a doctor, but he was a doctor, and the dust was really similar to the one in Prey, a book by Michael Crichton. And she was talking to Dr. Crichton, and I thought that was a reference, and I'm pretty sure if it's a reference, I may have reaching, but I feel like it was a very reference, and I love that. And I love that I could appreciate it. But I'm obsessed with this book right now. I have forgotten how much I love sci-fi. I haven't read a sci-fi book since last year, and I have forgotten how much I love sci-fi. Like, sci-fi set in space fascinates me. And I can't wait to read more now thanks to this book. And I actually even got one. It's here. I'll haul it later. And I kind of want to pick that one up again because I'm now in just sci-fi mood, and also in kind of like a more of like mood. So like after this one, I kind of want to read Too Much and Never Enough, How My Family Created the Most Dangerous Man on Earth, because it's a memoir about, well, not a memoir, it's a story about Donald Trump, written by his niece, who's a doctor. She's like a psychiatrist, I think. And my coworker is like raving about it, and now I kind of want to read it after reading about the Ku Klux Klan. You can see the connection there. But this is making me want to read sci-fi. So after I finish this one, I'll probably pick that one up. The one that I'm not showing because it's over there. But anyway, I'm really fascinated. Not a lot of progress, as you can see, because these pages are so paper thin, and the book is too complicated to listen to like a fast piece on Audible. Like, I'm listening at double speed, and that's the fastest I can go. And if I'm doing something that I'm thinking a lot, I have to lower it because it's a little bit of a complicated. It's high sci-fi, but it's fascinating. The writing is so easy to like to be lost in. Like, it's very simple. Nothing is overly complicated. Everything is very simple and easy to understand. Easy to like lose yourself in the world. I love Kira as a character. Really enjoying the world, all the crazy stuff that's going on. I'm really fascinated. So like of these books, I can't pick a favorite though. Ow! I just hit something. Just hit my finger. But like, this is extremely fascinating. But like, I don't want to pick favorite because I'm really enjoying all of them. But right now, I'm currently obsessed with these two books, which I find like are completely polar opposites. But I'm obsessed with these two, and these are the one I'm mostly focusing my attention on. So like, which is probably why I'm so obsessed with them, because I'm paying most of my attention to them. But really enjoying this poetry collection, and I can't wait to read more of this. Really enjoying this, and I can't wait to pick it up again because I haven't read it in a couple of days. And I know I will love this as soon as I restart it and physically read it, and probably annotate it. Oh god, yeah. Just lift them some ASMR. These are the books I'm currently reading and I'm currently obsessed with, because I am literally obsessed with all of these books. Well, this one I'm too early to know if I'm obsessed, but like this one, I'm obsessed of like the raw talent, because oh my god, it's so beautifully written, and I'm obsessed with the idea that I know that if I physically read it and I take my time, I'm gonna love it. So I can't wait to read all these books. And I love expanding my horizons. I don't read a lot of nonfiction or historical fiction or poetry, but there are things that I love, but I'm always too scared to read some. So I'm glad that I'm finally doing it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Tell me what you're currently reading in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And thank you for watching. Bye!